Hey, this is Pastor Pearl on this Spiritual Vitamin Friday. I want to first of all say thank you to all of you who wished me and Baby Doll an awesome 32nd anniversary. The years have flown by. I can remember the very day when I met Baby Doll on campus and everything. And I just want to say thank you for all your beautiful words, just for the love, you know. Now, today I'm representing the Marine Corps, of course, being a former Marine and everything. So I had to rep today and everything. But I also want to thank a brother by the name of Jeff Fuller, who did a podcast interview with me on this past week. Brother who's a pastor up in Vermont. It was probably one of the best interviews I've ever had, and I really and truly enjoyed just speaking with the brother and everything. But I just want to say thank you. But again, I want to thank you for taking the time to check this spiritual vitamin out on this Friday, because there's one thing about it. I believe we all need something to help us get through the day, the week, the minute, whatever the case may be, because we know that the enemy's job is to steal, kill, and destroy. But I'm going to tell you something. With this vitamin, you're going to knock him out. And that's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and just let's get into this thing today. Listen, what I want to talk about today is, don't you be like that. You know, there's a story in the Word of God that I really love, because, you know, I hear people always talking about jealousy, right? And I say, listen, jealousy's been around for a long time. All you got to do is read the book of Genesis chapter 4. You'll see where Cain killed Abel, you know. But isn't it amazing how God warned Cain, listen, you know, sin is trying to creep at your door. Don't let it in, because you have the power to stop it. So what happens a lot of times, what we do, we tend to allow jealousy to creep in. Then the jealousy becomes what? Envy. And before you know it, we're talking about a person or telling everybody else about a person. And what we're talking about is because we're jealous or envious of that individual. So what we need to remember is this here. What God has for us is for us. And the other thing that I want to remind you about that story, don't just give God your second best, give God your best. Because see, Cain wanted to just give God whatever he thought was going to be sufficient enough. But Abel gave him his best, his first. So give God your best. And don't worry about what somebody else is doing. You stay focused on you. But don't let jealousy creep in, because jealousy has destroyed many of relationships that were ordained by God, because people allowed their hearts to become so hardened that they couldn't see the love that the other person had for them, or how the other person wanted to assist them in their journey. But when jealousy sets in, it can be an ugly thing. So my prayer today is that you won't allow jealousy to creep in. You won't be like that. You'll say, that's my brother. That's my sister. That's my friend. You know, that's my loved one. I'm going to love them instead of be jealous of them or show envy to them. Because guess what? You know, we've all kind of looked at people a funny way, a certain kind of way. But my prayer today is that you don't ever allow jealousy to creep in and build this wall when God never ordained there to be a wall. Because the enemy comes to build walls, because the enemy don't want us to have the relationships that God has ordained us to have. So on this day, I pray that you do not ever allow jealousy to take over your heart, that you never allow it to creep up in your mind, because once it creeps in your mind, it's going to take over your heart. And as my brother Ezekiel said, that's when you're going to need a transplant, because your heart will become so hardened that God would have to give you a fleshy heart where you can hear the voice of God. So my prayer today is that you will not allow jealousy, which equates to envy, to creep into your heart or your mind, because there's one thing about it. Because when those two things, the jealousy and the envy, creep up into our hearts, that's an indicator that you're not serving the Most High God. So my prayer today is you're going to realize, hey, listen, man, I'm not going to hate on anybody. What God has for me is for me, and I'm going to thank God for what I have. And if that brother or sister has what they have, glory be to God. I'm going to pray for them. I'm going to lift them up, because guess what? I know mine is coming in. Listen, I love you, and I pray that you have a safe holiday weekend and everything. And just remember one thing. What God has for you is for you, and that's just the way it is. So don't be jealous or envious of anyone. Just love on them. Listen, until next Friday, this is Pastor Pearl. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And if you try to do something about it, I would block it. Listen, I love you. Have a great weekend now.